welcome to SVGTV's news and for Wednesday, July 16th, 2025. I'm Triska Campbell with the details. Prime Minister Dr. Afghan Saus has called for the resignation of the current Cricket West Indies CWI board, urging a new board be installed following what he described as an embarrassing performance by the West Indies test team in the just concluded series played against Australia in Jamaica. Speaking on radio today in the aftermath of Monday's crushing defeat, Prime Minister Gonsalves laid blame squarely on the leadership of CWI, stating that the board must take full responsibility for the team's poor performance throughout the series.
Terrible performance of Cricket West Indies over the whole period. I have to join with other leaders and other informed persons across the region to call for the resignation of the entire board of West Indies cricket. Let's do that for starters. Let's get a new board. And then let that new board carry out a thorough forensic inquiry about everything, including all the financial transactions of Cricket West Indies. Because some things which I hear, I can't believe. But it's good to know. You have to take full responsibility as the leadership of West Indies cricket, the board, for this debacle. It's a humiliation of our people.
While SVGTV News has not confirmed whether any other regional leaders have echoed Dr. Gonsalves' call for the board to resign, President of Guyana, Dr. Irfan Ali, has publicly called for greater accountability among cricketing bodies and stakeholders. President Ali urged the relevant authorities to address the root causes of decline in West Indies cricket. Prime Minister Dr. Gonsalves emphasized that accountability is essential in any domain, including sports governance, and specifically pointed to Cricket West Indies President Dr. Kishore Shallow, a fellow of Ascension, as someone who also must answer to the state of West Indies cricket.
That I had performed so badly in relation to any matter. The people would have been on the streets calling for my head. So let's begin with getting the resignation of the entire board, for starters. And then we could see how further down the road we're going with that. So we have to move. And what is the plan and the program for the reinvigoration of West Indies cricket? Is that the leadership of Cricket West Indies, including Shallow? They blame everybody else, except themselves. I would have thought that with a debacle like that, you will invoke the proposition to be contrite.
The Prime Minister's remarks came in the wake of West Indies being bowled out for just 27 runs by Australia on Monday night at Sabina Park in Jamaica, the second lowest total in the history of Test cricket. The historic defeat sparked widespread disappointment and debate across the region. President of Cricket West Indies CWI, Dr. Kishore Shallow, has admitted that the recent defeats suffered by the West Indies team was unacceptable and revealed that an emergency meeting has been called to urgently address the state of cricket in the region. In response to Prime Minister Dr. Afghan Saus' call for the resignation of the entire CWI board, blaming leadership failures for the team's poor performance, Dr. Shallow pushed back against the Prime Minister's remarks. He argued that simply removing individuals will not solve the deeper systematic issues affecting West Indies cricket.
That defeat a couple of days ago in Jamaica, at Sabina Park, is certainly one that it is a very bitter pill to swallow. A collapse, getting bowled over 27 is inexcusable. And I could tell you that absolutely no one at Cricket West Indies is comfortable is pleased about that defeat. We take absolutely no comfort in it. And so we have called an urgent meeting of our cricket committee. We are hoping that with the invitation extended to some legends that they will meet soonest and they will have, very comprehensive discussion around how we could improve long term over the years. I believe the problem is in West Indies cricket is that we have always looked at those short-term fix, the quick fix, fire this, fire that, and you end up, you know, same place, just barely months after or a year or two later. We have to dig deep into this matter, and we have to address it in a responsible way.
In a bold counter, Dr. Shallow went further, calling the Prime Minister Gonsalves himself to resign, citing what he described as chronic underdevelopment in St. Vincent and the Grenadines under the Prime Minister's leadership.
Dr. Gonsalves is entitled to an opinion. However, as a long-standing prime minister for almost quarter of a century in a country that has shown so little progress or growth, some may even argue that we have regressed. It may not be a bad approach from Dr. Gonsalves himself to demonstrate some leadership in this case and resign. Slowly, if he does, I may just take his suggestion seriously. But until then, it is very difficult for me to even have any sort of appreciation for what he's trying to suggest.
The ongoing back and forth between CWI President and Prime Minister Gonsalves reflects a growing rift between political leadership and sports governance in the region. As fans, stakeholders, and former players demand answers, all eyes will be on the outcome of the emergency meeting scheduled by CWI in the coming days. In other news now, gasoline prices have increased to $15.12 per gallon following the government's latest adjustment to the wholesale and retail prices of fuel across the country. The change comes under the authority of Section 10 of the Price and Distribution of Goods Act CAP 161, which empowers the government to regulate prices in the interest of protecting consumers and promoting fair market practices. Speaking on radio this morning, Prime Minister Dr. Gonsalves added that the public concern over the rising fuel cost, attributing the increases primarily to the global economic impacts and their knock-on effects on small import-reliant nations.
It has to do with the movement of the prices globally as they come to affect us. So anytime it goes, the prices go up, you pay for it. It comes down, you get the benefit of it. The wars which are taking place in the world and the conflicts which they help to push up prices. Public policy in countries like the United States and Europe can affect prices.
The revised fuel prices apply to gasoline, regular diesel, and low sulfur diesel across all designated zones, areas 1, 2, 3, and 4. Both maximum wholesale and maximum retail prices have been increased as follows. Gasoline maximum wholesale price $14.36 per gallon. Maximum retail price $15.12 per gallon. Diesel regular maximum wholesale price $11.95 per gallon and maximum retail price $12.61 per gallon. Diesel low sulfur maximum wholesale price $11.77 per gallon. Maximum retail price $12.43 per gallon. These adjustments are part of the government's regulated pricing mechanism reviewed quarterly to reflect changes in the international oil markets, freight charges, and other related costs. The Prime Minister noted that while increases in fuel prices are difficult for consumers, they are necessary a reflection of the external pressures, particularly in light of the ongoing geopolitical tensions and global supply chain disruptions.
We do a rolling 3-month average. So you take the month of this last price rise in gasoline and the decline in diesel price. We take we take this month and the preceding 2 months, and we do an average. We do that because we don't want to change it every month. Use a 1 month average because it can distort the averages. So we do 3 months.
Welcome back to the evening news. The Ministry of Tourism, Civil Aviation, Sustainable Development and Culture has announced a full calendar of events in celebration of Emancipation Month, which begins in August. The month-long observance will kick off with the Emancipation Cricket Festival. A highlight of this year's celebration will be the launch of a new book researched and compiled by Vincentian historians exploring the nation's journey to emancipation and cultural identity. The announcement was made by Minister of Tourism and Culture, Carlos James, during the official launch of the Emancipation Month of activities held at Arnisville on Tuesday evening.
We intend to launch a first for our country, a publication researched and penned by Vincentian historians Drs. Gary Denny, Adrian Fraser, Cleve Scott, and Arnold Thomas, titled The History of St. Vincent and the Grenadines, Volume 1. This historiography chronicles our island's legacy from slavery to emancipation and is expected to be launched on August 14th, 2025.
Minister James said communities across St. Vincent and the Grenadines will also host activities, including lectures, discussions highlighting our rich history.
The launch will also feature an emancipation lecture featuring noted Caribbean scholar and historian Sir Hilary Beckles, Vice Chancellor of the University of the West Indies, and our esteemed Prime Minister, Dr. the Honorable Ralphie Gonsalves, one of the region's significant voices, calling for reparations against the genocide of native peoples and the enslavement of African bodies. The schedule of activities showcases a number of events across the country, including places listed here: Georgetown, Chateaubelair, New Montrose, Kingston, Union Island, and commences with the community wake in Diamonds Village on Emancipation morning.
The final event on the calendar will take place on Friday, September 5th in New Montrose and will feature a cultural presentation by the Kalinagua tribe titled Hair Your Heritage. This year's theme for Emancipation Month is Embracing Our Past, Forging into the Future. Soca artist Utamo Rose, better known by his stage name Bongo Prime, says a celebration following his recent victory in the 2025 Raga Soca Monarch competition is one he shares with his entire team. During an interview on WFM yesterday, Bongo Prime stated that his winning performance of his track Mardi Gras was a group effort.
I say we because, I don't do music alone. I don't accomplish these things alone. I'm talking about my team, my family, my close friends, the people who have been riding with me. When I say we, I'm talking directly about my team, Cuthbert Noel, DXK, that's my producer, the Pixel, that's Elrico Hunt from Island Shack Entertainment. And that's the team. When I reference the we, those are the people that I'm talking about. Others, of course, my close family, my close friends, people that are working with us, of course. So that's why I usually say we. I don't say just me or I, because I don't do it alone.
The win marks a major milestone in his career, earning him the title of 2025 Raga Soca Monarch.
Thank you so much. Thank you. Been getting a lot of congrats, a lot of words of encouragement, a lot of words of support, and I appreciate it so much. And I would say that it's these congratulations that sort of kind of remind you of what you've actually accomplished, because, it can be a bit of a overwhelming experience when everybody is reaching out at the same time. But, gradually as you start to process it, you start to realize that, hey, yeah, you have accomplished something big, and, it's good that people recognize that and so on. And I feel that love, I feel that support, and I appreciate it a lot. I think every time I do something like this, or I talk about it, I realize internally that I still haven't processed it in its entirety as yet. But, you know, as time passes, I have, you know, I've been able to, since, you know, Carnival has finished, actually see the performances and actually see what we did. So now I'm starting to connect with it a bit more and realize that, yay, you know, we really did this. So it's starting to soak in just a little bit now.
Preparing for the competition came with personal challenges for the artist. Rose revealed that a month before the finals, he lost his father, a devastating blow that tested his emotional strength and focus.
He passed on June the 5th, and the song released the very next day because I had an interview on Boom. And the plan was to release the song during this interview and everything and create a bit of buzz around it. But then I lost him just the day before. Still went and did the interview because I was like, okay, let me do this and let me put it out regardless of what we're gonna do. And in going through that grief, in going through that loss, I made some time to call my producer. And he was like, you don't have to do it if you don't want to, but if you're gonna do it, we're behind you 100%. And I think that's all I needed to hear, that if we're doing it, I would have that support from those around me. I think once I knew that, I kind of put that in the back, and we dealt with, of course, funeral arrangements, all of that, because it was a testing time, because Carnival was coming. So flights were gonna be tough for family overseas.
Okay, right.
And then we were right in the middle of graduation season. So all the churches were booked for an extended period of time. But we were able to get a date. We got a date for the 16th of June. We planned a beautiful send-off. We had a really great send-off for Dad, you know. A lot of the elements, funny enough, that were in my performance were a part of that send-off because that's who he was. So we had the African drums and all of us were, you know, colorful African clothing and so on. And I think that's where I got the idea that, hey, I'm going to put a bit of this tribute to Dad in my performance, because it's really, and I'm not talking competition. I'm talking in terms of what I was presenting and what I was representing. I wanted to give him that as a final thank you.
Rose now joins the ranks of previous Raga Sokomanak winners who have helped to define and evolve the genre. With this victory, fans can expect more music, collaborations and performances from Bongo Prime as he rides the wave of his latest achievements.